Get to work, baby.
That Mike Tyson, at least for a round or two,
first time he
Mike
gets
Tyson.
cracked, it's gonna, I guarantee you, his head's gonna be like, oh shit.
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens.
How many rounds is it?
I think it's
Shockwaves have rocked the boxing world after reports surfaced that Canelo Alvarez was knocked out during a sparring session ahead of his highly anticipated showdown with Terence "Bud" Crawford. For years, Canelo has been the sport's golden boy, a four-division champion, global superstar, and pound-for-pound elite. But whispers of him hitting the canvas behind closed doors have erupted into
right down the middle, straight right, and knocked him down again. And that one to finish him was big shot, man.
Major headlines, raising serious questions about his durability, preparation, and chances against Crawford, a man many already view as the best fighter on the planet. This wasn't just a minor slip in the gym. This was Canelo Alvarez, a fighter who built his legacy on power.
That's what probably surprised. Well, no, probably what surprised me more than anything was the confidence that he had. He was getting it with me. You know, I was world champion at that point. And this young man came in, and he really
toughness and unshakable composure, getting dropped by a sparring partner just weeks before stepping into the ring with one of the most precise technicians in boxing history. If Canelo is touching the canvas in training, what happens when he faces Crawford, a fighter with surgical timing, elite ring IQ, and the ability to dismantle even the most dangerous opponents? The timing couldn't be worse. With fight night looming, this knockdown.
It's only sparring. If you get dropped in sparring, it means you're learning. Tomorrow morning, you don't get dropped in the same shot. So him getting dropped in sparring, that means he's learning on the job. So it's okay. Who cares? Alexander usually gets dropped in sparring. But he's learning on
down feels less like a small hiccup and more like a glaring red flag. Boxing pundit Johnny Nelson, never shy about speaking his mind, didn't hold back. Confidence is crucial in boxing, Nelson explained, but there's a fine line between belief and delusion. Against a fighter like Crawford,
what is there to talk about? You fighting the best fighter in the world. You better be taking it serious. You know, that goes to show, you know, how serious he's taking me and how much he respects me. Because, you know, if I haven't fought anyone, if I was too small, if I was, you know, all these things that all the media say I was, then he wouldn't need these guys to help prepare him to fight me. He wouldn't, you know, need all the help that, you know, he's getting. But I think that he's getting the help that he needs because, you know, after, you know, September 13th, there'll be no excuses.
Crawford, misplaced confidence can be fatal. Nelson admitted he was more shocked by Canelo's unshaken bravado following the incident than the knockdown itself. His words were a sharp reminder that swagger and reputation won't save anyone under the bright lights when precision and timing start to break a fighter down. Not everyone, however, was ready to hit the panic button. Veteran heavyweight Derek Chisora dismissed the reports as overblown drama. It's sparring.
But I'm talking about with somebody who doesn't fiddle around, somebody who actually would like to get in the latter rounds and is capable of knocking people over. You know, he's a puncher. You've seen him do it, and he's done it with well.
Shannon Briggs tries to soften the
tears. Chisora shrugged. Sparring knockdowns don't mean a thing, but many fans and analysts weren't convinced. Canelo isn't a young prospect learning on the job. He's supposed to be one of the sport's pound-for-pound kings. If he's getting dropped by anonymous sparring partners, the alarm bells aren't just ringing, they're deafening. Meanwhile, Crawford's camp remains calm and razor-sharp. While Canelo's team scrambles to contain the story, Crawford has been dissecting his sparring partners with icy composure, quietly preparing to make a statement. When asked about the rumors, Crawford smirked and delivered a line that cut deep. If I was too small or too easy, he quipped, Canelo wouldn't need a dozen sparring partners. The comment was subtle but devastating.
In the gym and stuff like that, but that's okay too because I took a couple spills, you know, little slips in the ring and the gym. That's okay, but we're gonna see. This is gonna be.
It suggested that Canelo's need for a revolving door of training partners might be rooted in respect or even fear. And despite all that preparation, he's still hitting the canvas. For Crawford, that's a sign of psychological weakness creeping in. Promoter Frank Warren weighed in with a blunt assessment. Yes, Canelo can punch, Warren admitted, but so what? Crawford has dismantled punchers before. Power alone won't beat Bud. It was a sobering reminder that raw strength has limits. Crawford has outsmarted, outlasted, and outfought bigger, stronger men throughout his career. Against a technician like him, Power is useless without balance, precision, and mental toughness. Former heavyweight champ Shannon Briggs tried to downplay the incident by comparing it to his own sparring slips, but the comparison fell flat. Briggs was a heavyweight brawler. Canelo is the face of boxing. When someone of his stature gets floored in camp, it doesn't feel like routine work, it feels like a crack in the armor. Trainer Buddy McGirt offered perhaps the most chilling insight. He believes
somebody slips up and get caught early, but we gotta get him into the deep waters. That's the key.
This fight won't be decided early, but in the later rounds where Crawford thrives. Crawford is a master of the deep waters. McGirt explained, when things get rough, tactical, and mentally draining, he only gets stronger. The implication was clear. If Canelo is already struggling in sparring, he might crumble when Crawford drags him into a grueling high-stakes chess match. In those moments, Crawford's adaptability and endurance could drown him. Coach Spikes added another layer to the conversation, warning that fans underestimate Crawford's power because of his smaller frame. Bud's strength doesn't come from sheer size, Spikes said. It comes from timing and precision. When Canelo feels that, he's going to know this isn't like any fight he's had before. For Canelo, the optics are disastrous. This wasn't supposed to happen to the fighter billed as untouchable. Now, instead of exuding invincibility, he's heading into fight week.
Be the key in this. Punching power, speed, timing, all that's good. But it's a mental game. This is what's going to carry us through that night.
Under a cloud of doubt. Crawford, on the other hand, couldn't be in a better position. He's calm, confident, and utterly unbothered. While Canelo fights rumors and internal chaos, Crawford's focus remains absolute. On fight night, there will be no sparring partners to protect Canelo, no excuses to hide behind. Just two fighters, one ring, and a storm that Crawford is ready to unleash. If Canelo's already sinking in camp, the question isn't whether Bud can beat him, it's whether Canelo will survive the deep waters once the real fight begins. Mental warfare has now become the defining theme of the upcoming showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford. Canelo has built his career on intimidation. As trainer Coach Spikes put it, Canelo's used to bullying opponents, but you don't bully Crawford. You respect him, and respect won't save you. Those sparring knockdowns.
Canelo loses, it hurts anything to his legacy.
No, Canelo's an all-time great. He's an incredible fighter, and look, I actually think this is a bad fight for him because you're losing to a 147, obviously 154 now. But the money's the money, and he was never going
to. Spikes argued, prove what many have been afraid to admit: Canelo's chin isn't unbreakable, and his aura isn't bulletproof. Against Bud, Canelo won't just be fighting punches, he'll be battling a psychological chess match, where every mistake gets punished. Promoter Eddie Hearn didn't sugarcoat the situation either. He called this a bad fight for Canelo, plain and simple. Forget debates about weight or legacy. Hearn believes Canelo is risking everything by facing a fighter like Crawford. According to Hearn, he's seen countless champions fall short against men with Bud's fast feet, razor-sharp reflexes, and tactical brilliance. This isn't just a tough fight for Canelo, it's potentially career-defining and reputation-shattering. Heavyweight Jarrell Big Baby Miller threw his support entirely behind Crawford. Summing up his perspective in one chilling line, "Hunger beats comfort." Miller argued that Canelo has grown too comfortable at the top. Wealth, fame, and status.
I'm pulling for Crawford in this one. I think people underestimating his strength right now and his size. And I think he's a little more hungry than Canelo. So let's see though. But I like both guys, but I'm a little closer to Crawford, so I want to see Crawford continue.
Have dulled the sharp edge that once made him feared. Crawford, by contrast, fights like a man possessed, driven by legacy, respect, and an insatiable hunger to prove himself. In Miller's eyes, that hunger could be the difference between mere survival and outright domination. Boxing trainer Stephen Bredman Edwards reminded fans of a harsh truth: no chin is invincible. Canelo may have built a reputation for durability, but that reputation means nothing when whispers of sparring knockdowns are already swirling through the boxing world. Crawford won't let you off the hook, Edwards warned. If he hurts you, he finishes you. The once mythical narrative of Canelo's granite chin is fading fast. Against Bud, that myth could be shattered permanently. Former world champion Duke McKenzie laid out his prediction: Crawford by unanimous decision. For McKenzie, the fight will come down to timing, adaptability.
From the very beginning of the fight.
You think you can hurt him?
Yep. Anybody could be hurt in the fight. Canelo got a great chin though, but anybody could be hurt on any given night. Don't ever think a guy can't.
And precision. Bud has a knack for racking up rounds, dominating exchanges, and leaving opponents frustrated and swinging at air. Canelo, meanwhile, has slowed in recent years, particularly against slick movers and sharp technicians. Crawford, McKenzie argued, is both, and far more dangerous than anyone Canelo has faced. Carl Froch framed the matchup as a historic clash, but his tone carried a sharp edge. The monster in this fight isn't Canelo, Froch said, it's Crawford. Froch emphasized that getting dropped in sparring isn't just physically damaging, it's humiliating. It strips away the aura of invincibility Canelo has relied on for years. Froch believes this fight won't just be memorable, it will be the night Crawford dethrones boxing's supposed king. Trainer Robert Garcia was equally blunt, saying Crawford possesses every tool needed to beat Canelo: talent, speed, intelligence, and adaptability. Crawford doesn't need a perfect fight to win, he just needs time. Bud solves opponents, Garcia explained. He breaks them.
Okay? But there's not a difference in class, in my opinion, in this fight. Canelo is not head and shoulders above Crawford in terms of class. If there is a class difference, it'll be in Crawford's favour. I think Crawford's much more
down piece by piece, then closes the show. If Canelo is already struggling against sparring partners, Garcia questioned what chance he truly has against a fighter who thrives on dismantling elite champions. This fight is bigger than belts, money, or records. It's about legacy. Canelo Alvarez, once untouchable, now steps into the ring carrying the weight of whispers about his sparring collapse. His aura has cracked before the opening bell even rings. On the other side stands Terence Crawford, unbeaten, unshaken, and utterly unbothered. For Bud, this isn't a gamble, it's destiny. If he wins, he won't just claim victory at a higher weight class. He'll cement himself as the undisputed pound-for-pound king of this generation. If Canelo survives, it won't erase the doubts. It will only prove that he can endure, not that he can dominate. The real question isn't who has more power or a bigger fan base. It's who's hungrier, sharper, and
6'8", to take on Canelo Alvarez really is one to look forward to. It's a monster fight. But is this the biggest fight in boxing? I mean, it's a big fight, isn't it? Would you say that Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford's the biggest fight? Two of the biggest names in boxing, that's for sure. Terence Crawford's unbeaten. Obviously, we know what Canelo Alvarez is all about. We know what he's done. If he retired tomorrow, then he'd go down as an ultimate, like one of the best to ever do it. And so he's big. I mean, you've got to try and compare.
Mentally unbreakable when the storm hits. Canelo's sparring knockdown wasn't just a stumble. It was a preview, a warning shot of what may come. When fight night arrives, the world will finally see whether those whispers were a false alarm or the final crack before Canelo's crown shatters forever.